Welcome to the Buckner video blog. Today's issue is documenting investigation statements. Well, what is an investigation statement? Well, quite simply, an investigation statement is a document or some type of recording, whether it be video or audio, of what the interview subject saw, heard, or felt, or the subject's testimony regarding any type of information that might be relevant to the allegations, contentions, issues, or complaint that is at the heart of an investigation. So what's the purpose of documenting a statement of an interview of a witness or of a subject of the investigation? Well, most importantly, it creates an accurate record of that interview. And an investigator needs to have an accurate record in order to prepare an objective investigation report. And if that investigation becomes the subject or has to be used in subsequent proceedings, then you want to be able to have authentic, verifiable evidence of that interview. Oftentimes, internal investigations do not stop when the investigation officially closes. The evidence from that investigation, including the report and interviews that were conducted during the internal investigation, sometimes are used in proceedings involving the organization's internal disciplinary matters. For regards, a lot of organizations have hearings or other type of meetings to resolve issues that might relate to the internal investigation. That can be used in subsequent litigation or other proceedings that might relate to some of the allegations or actions from the internal investigation. So it's always wise to have some type of verifiable evidence or documentation of that interview. Well, what type of documentation does an investigator use in order to record a statement? Well, there are several ways. One of which is a transcript from a certified court reporter. And that's the most accurate way of documenting an investigation interview. Other ways of documenting interviews is a digital or video recording. We use at Buckner a digital recorder, so that when we start an interview, we actually introduce the digital recorder, we turn it on, and we're able to download it to our online system. That way, we make sure that we have an accurate audio recording of that interview. You can also use a videographer or other type of video equipment in order to record an interview. You can also use what's called an interview statement, and that's where the investigator prepares detailed notes of the interview, of the testimony obtained during the interview. And then at the end, or sometime later, the investigator would then provide those detailed notes of the interview to the actual witness. And the witness will then review it, make any necessary changes, edits, revisions, and then sign the statement. Interview statements are not as accurate and not as thorough, not as detailed as a transcript or a digital or video recording, but oftentimes interview statements are much more reliable and have been used in various proceedings because they are something in which the witness or the interview subject has an opportunity to add, change, or alter in any way to make sure that what he or she said during the interview is as accurate as their recollection can be. Another method is an interview memorandum. That's again based upon the detailed notes of the investigator put together in a memorandum format that is not signed by the actual witness. The interview memorandum is considered not as reliable or not as accurate as the interview statement because the interview statement is reviewed and signed by the witness, while interview memorandum is not reviewed or signed by the witness. It is just merely based upon the notes and recollection of the investigator. Then there are handwritten responses to written questions. So these are situations in which an investigator, for whatever reason, cannot conduct an actual interview, either an in-person or telephone interview of the witness, and instead sends actual questions or interrogatories to the witness. And then the witness then prepares written responses to those questions. These types of testimony sometimes are used or relied upon, but more often than not, they cannot be relied upon as accurate information or accurate evidence because there's really no way for the investigator to follow up questions, and it allows and permits the interview witness to have plenty of time to collect their thoughts, possibly coordinate testimony with others. So oftentimes those handwritten responses to written questions cannot be really relied upon in subsequent proceedings. And then the least accurate way of documenting interview testimony is handwritten notes of the investigator. Again, just like the interview memorandum, they're not reviewed by the interview witness or subject, and therefore are less reliable or accurate from a subsequent proceeding standpoint. So these are all the general ways of documenting testimony during some type of interview or situations in which the investigator is asking questions. And if you want to make sure that your investigation is tight and comprehensive and accurate, the best ways of recording interviews is through either a transcript from a certified court reporter or digital or video recordings of those interviews. And with the digital or video recording, you can later go back and create a transcript from those digital or video recordings. Well, that's all for our video blog. If you have any questions concerning an internal investigation issue, please don't hesitate to contact me, Michael Buckner. I'm president and shareholder of Buckner, and the information that you can reach us is located on your screen. Thank you again, and if you have any questions again, don't hesitate to give me a call. Thank you.